Punch the Timeline.
You're listening to Punch the Timeline with Jarrod, Trent, and Devin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Punch the Timeline. I just realized something, by the way, Devin.
What's that?
You're still Dr. Devin.
No.
But the DR
I'm
stands for Digital Robin.
God damn it. Fuck.
Yes.
I can't even argue.
You can be DR Devin, but it still will read Dr. Devin.
God damn it.
You thought.
Son of a bitch, you worked it in. I hate you for it.
I know.
I hope you're aware I'm genuinely actually upset. Like I'm visibly irritated.
No regrets.
This entire intro is just gonna be me being mad.
Hey, whatever works. Content is content. What are we talking about today, good sir?
We are talking about a one-off. Well, technically I think it was a 3-part, but
A mini
I
series.
have it in one collection. A miniseries.
Yes.
Superman Red Sun.
When we come back from the break, we're going to jump into this. What if Superman was raised in Russia?
Punch the Timeline will be right back after this.
And we're back. So, Red Sun, it's from what, 2003?
Yeah, it's actually a little older, and I can't believe I haven't read it before now.
It honestly didn't interest me because I thought it was just going to be the same old Superman origin story, but told from a Russian perspective. So what we actually got blew my mind.
Yeah, no, this was what my friend has actually been telling me to read this forever, and then he got it for me for Christmas because he knows that we do this podcast. He was like, read this. You will want to make a pod out of it. And goddamn, he was right. I need to send him a text and let him know he was absolutely right.
It's just a let's just jump in. So this doesn't start in the beginning where you think it would, of like the spaceship crashing from Krypton and the parents finding him. Like, we jump right to the 50s. We're in the Cold War, and it's Superman with Stalin. I like the feel of it, that 1950s feel. You got, Perry White. You got the Daily Planet. It's like everybody you know, but you take Superman and you just move him over to Russia. And then Lois Lane is married to Lex Luthor, which, if you took Superman out of the equation, of course Lois is going to end up with Lex.
Yeah, but still,
Just first issue, what was the big thing that you're like, oh, wow?
God, I actually really liked the fucking first issue. I guess going into it, I really expected more of a super strong, like, oh, Superman is a communist, but it wasn't. It didn't start out that way. It was literally just like he literally saved a bunch of people in the U.S. Like he was just out to help people, which is not what I was expecting going into a book where his symbol is literally just the communist symbol on his chest.
Yes, which is a trap by Lex Luthor.
Oh, yeah, it was a trap by Lex Luthor. They crashed Sputnik 2.
And my favorite panel of this issue is where he stops the Daily Planet from falling on someone. And so he's doing the iconic Superman pose, but he's in the communist outfit, and he's like literally holding the world up, handing a child a balloon. Like, that image just popped to me.
I really liked the entire panel of the fact that Superman basically just told Stalin, hold the fuck on what you're doing. I'm going to go save some people, and just leaves literally the leader of Russia.
Yes.
He's like, I've got more important shit to do. Excuse me.
I guess it's just the fact that it's like he is doing the work for the people, and so he has no like dual identity to blend in with humanity. He's just like, I've got to save people. That's my job.
But also, we did forget to premise, he still grew up on a farm in this universe. He just grew up on a Russian farm.
Yeah. You don't really get a lot of background on his family. You kind of get he was from a small town, and Lana, It's the one thing that bothered me is it's like there's Lana Lang is in Russia
Yeah.
and Batman is in Russia. Like, just because his spaceship crashed in Russia doesn't mean that magically Bruce Wayne is in Russia.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of problem with that. I was like, why? Like, you can't really mess with
You
Batman that way.
You can't pick and choose who goes where.
They literally created Gotham for Batman.
Yeah,
So does Gotham just not exist in this universe?
perhaps.
I
Another
mean, I'm surely it does, but
maybe.
but I don't. But now I just realized I have to like this universe a little bit less. That means there's no Nightwing.
That's true.
I'm very sad now.
I
At
mean,
this
you
realization.
can like things that don't have Nightwing in it. Did you know that?
No, Nightwing matters. Fucking Nightwing matters.
I'm more excited for Nightwing's his book after Future State. Also, I'm flipping through this book and like the Jimmy Olsen's rise to power is hilarious. Like in our world, he's this idiot, errand boy, a gopher. In this world, he's like, in tight with Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor
Yeah, like CIA dude.
Lex Luthor is quickly going to assume power in this world. I like the way they present Lex. Is like he's not a. It's like he's finally found a foe that he can compete with. I mean, Lex Luthor does turn into a villain eventually, but
It takes him a minute.
it takes him a minute. He's just a genius that's bored.
He's also still a massive douche nozzle.
I mean, yeah, you can't not be a massive douche nozzle if you're Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I don't think there is a universe where he's not a douche nozzle. If there is, I haven't read it.
He's kind of a good guy in Metal.
Oh, well, that's
Metal-
why I started Metal and I haven't.
It's so hard to care. It's so hard for me to keep up with and give a shit about. I mean, even though Metal has set up Future State, I think
I have one issue of Metal because Nightwing Rebirth crossed over with it for one issue,
yeah.
and that was it.
So
But also in this first issue, we get Bruce Wayne, who isn't Bruce Wayne, becoming Batman.
yes, the myth of Batman begins in this book. Let's call him Rosloff.
Yeah, we'll call him Roslav. That's a little easier.
Yeah.
Little shithead shoots him in the arm. Shoots a child in the arm.
After he murdered his parents, like we don't
After
get
he murdered his fucking family.
we don't get Joe Chill. We get Rosloff, who just busts caps at people because he can, because he's the bastard son of Stalin, and he really hates Superman. But he just he kind of knows his role and backs up for Superman to take over. Spoiler alert, everyone.
He hates it.
Yeah. Stalin
hates
dies.
Yeah, Stalin dies from poisoning. And then later on we get Lex Luthor creating Bizarro for America.
God damn, is that the creepiest Bizarro?
It is a really fucked Bizarro. Like I've seen obviously there's the traditional Bizarro that you're used to seeing from the movies and the original comics and shit, but this one just looks real weird. Also, the fact that his imperfect X-ray vision literally irradiates fucking everything within like a fucking mile radius. But then he blows himself up to save London. I just punched my mic. That's good
Which
podcast recording.
really sets up the dynamic of Superman becoming the leader of Russia as Lex Luthor slowly starts to build his obsession against Superman.
Yeah, because he puts his marriage. He's like, our marriage is taking an indefinite hiatus, Lois.
And the fact that this marriage survives.
Yeah, that was the part that blew my spoilers. How the fuck did that work?
I
I
don't
would have
know.
been dumping his ass.
Because they just tease this tension between Lois and Superman, but it's never acted upon.
I don't know.
I liked the first issue was a good setup, but like the first issue was like going up the roller coaster, like coming up to the top, and it's like you get to that second issue and it's like, here we go.
And also, like, per issue, the costume changes. That's an important thing to note as well. Because, like, whenever in the first issue, it looks almost like OG Superman suit, just with less white and the communist logo
Yeah.
instead of the shield. And then in the second one, like, there's art in the back of this book that actually shows it really well. It's like right here somewhere. Oh yeah. So here we go. So it starts off, it looks pretty normal. And then it gets a darker color tone for the second book, but it gets some yellow in there too.
Okay.
And then in the third book, it looks like a fucking like communist general almost.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Hairstyles basically stays the same though.
yeah. And Luthor's hair slowly fades away every issue.
Oh yeah, and Wonder Woman is also in this.
Wonder Woman is in this, and you'd think, I feel like this book should have been like, hey, everything that you think is going to happen is not going to happen, so just get ready for something cool.
Yep, pretty much.
But I like that, true to the Cold War, Superman is making everything better around the world. Like, the whole rest of the world is like, okay, we're going to join up with Russia. And but America, it's like, no, you have to ask me. You have to want to join up with us.
Yeah, America's like, you have to ask me. No, I'm not joining.
Yeah. But it's similar to Injustice, the way that it's like, you follow Superman's rules or you pay the price.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting too, was Injustice. Like, I feel like that fits perfectly, but this came from before that, so.
So Injustice would be a derivative of Red Sun.
But I had more exposure to Injustice before I had exposure to this. So.
Same. Injustice is a ride, man. You just, if you're listening to this and you haven't read Injustice, then get on over to DC Universe and check it out, because that is a trip. There are no rules.
Or if you like games, play the game, or both of them.
That too. I forgot it was a game.
Yeah, it's a game now.
Because
hard game.
I only have a Super Nintendo.
That's okay. My friend Rex is Aquaman, because it's not 50s save the environment Aquaman. It's I'm gonna fucking kill you, and hang your testicles on my rearview mirror, my underwater rearview mirror.
So we also get Communist Batman in this issue.
We also get Brainiac in this issue.
How do you know it's Communist Batman? The hat.
Because, yeah, I was about to say the hat. And the more militaristic looking uniform, I guess.
Batman's more of a bastard in this. Like, he doesn't give a...
Yeah, he just straight up like blew up 5 buildings. He killed people.
He's just like, hey, this guy killed my parents, so now I'm going to try and ruin as much of this as I can.
I mean, you know what the tipping point must have been? When he got shot in the arm. Right there. It was like, nope, now I'm killing people.
He's like, now you done it. Also, Wonder Woman's costume is very dark.
Yeah, it is.
There's
a lot of
red and black
tones in this.
Gray. There's no beautiful color.
I mean, as somebody who likes a darker color scheme, I think it's cool. But I like the traditional Wonder Woman.
I mean, it just feels like this is the darkest timeline, so we have to show that. Also, I found it interesting that Superman never took Wonder Woman as his bride.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Like, he's so much more dedicated to the cause that he's like, I don't have time for companionship, I guess. It's also it's also interesting to see the natural aging of these characters, because you've got, when Perry White retires and Lois takes over the Daily Planet, and like there's white hair and gray hair, and Lex is losing his hair. So this is a decades-long battle between Superman and Lex Luthor.
Yeah, absolutely. And also we get to see Batman just straight up drink in front of Roslov. I was like, oh, that's definitely uncharacteristic, because he just opens the most like generic fridge and pulls out a beer and starts chugging it.
This Batman gives no shits.
This Batman really does give no shits. That's fine. He dies later.
Whoa, spoilers. We see how sterile Lois and Lex's marriage is.
Oh yeah, because she shows up to LexCorp on their fucking anniversary, and he's just like, "Yeah, I didn't get you anything. I was reading 7 books this morning. Just put mine on the desk, and my assistant will open it." I was like, "God damn."
It's just like, all right, love you. Like, we all know people who are in that relationship. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not healthy. It's just not healthy.
That's just interesting to me. Like, they tease so much the Superman and Lois dynamic when she's like got her arms crossed and it's like, baby, I'm just a one-man woman. And there's like this picture of Superman like in the background, like she's thinking of Superman the entire time. And Lex is like, go away.
He's like, whatever, I ain't got time for this shit. Then Wonder Woman gets kidnapped by Batman.
Batman is just he's on a suicide mission.
He literally fucking ingested a bomb.
Yeah.
And then tried to take out Superman. Failed. Blew himself up. Wonder Woman broke out of the lasso of domination, apparently. It's not the lasso of truth in this. It's the lasso of fucking domination. And then she literally ages like 20 years because of it.
I think that's more than 20 years, but yeah, she is ruined.
Her mind is shattered.
And Batman, oh man, this book is just, there's some scenes where you're just like, oh, this is fucking uncomfortable.
It's dark.
It's dark. And then like the fact that Lex Luthor has found a Green Lantern ring sets us up for the next issue.
And also, Batman's death becomes a revolution movement.
Yes.
So there's multiple Batmen.
Great cover on issue 3.
Oh yeah, I loved the cover on issue 3. The setting.
He's watching you.
Oh yeah, dude, that right there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Superman has
Physical
created
copies, man.
a global Soviet Union.
Can we also just take a moment to note that Captain Physical Copies does not have a physical copy, but I do.
Yes, this is a rare occasion where you
Rare
got
occasion
me.
that I'm winning. The entire thing. It's beautiful.
Give it a knock. There you go. Those are physical copies. It's not a hardcover, but still.
Nah, it's paperback. It's not my Hawkeye. It's not my Hawkeye comics. But yeah, he's created global communism, except for a few states in the U.S. 16, I think it is. The rest are like revolting. But basically, he's like micromanaging everyone's lives now.
Yes, much like Injustice, where it's like there's fear. Because if you cross him, then you get reprogrammed.
Yeah, literally, we go to a scene where fucking he's using Brainiac to like micromanage everything, which that's a terrible idea in the first place. It's like, and then he has a bunch of reprogrammed Batmen, and he plays chess every day like a fucking nutcase.
Meanwhile, in America, President Lex Luthor, which we've seen in our universe, man, that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm so old.
Yeah, he like solved a bunch of problems, all in the name of the American citizen, but we all know it's not for the American citizen. He's still just pissed about Superman, so he's had a plan in actions for 20 years.
And
40 years.
And that plan is the Green Lantern Corps.
Combined with the Amazon, or the Amazonians.
I just want to know how he replicated all those rings.
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
I mean, it's like he figured out that he couldn't use the ring.
He couldn't use it, so he got Hal Jordan, who was like a fucking super high PTSD war veteran.
Yeah, that scene where they're describing how he survived the POW camp.
He survived torture by imagining that he was creating a concentration camp and would literally live out each and every fucking step of building it for 4 years. 4 years. He imagined himself building this concentration camp. That is fucked. Like, we just talked about Batman the Outsiders with shithead Alfred. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's bad. This is really dark timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes to I mean, that's why he did it, because willpower. But man, like, how would Lex? I mean, did he tell Lex this? Is it like, do you know how I survived this? That's probably what happened. And he's like, I'm gonna give you a ring that'll create anything you want.
I don't know. Because I feel like that would almost make you unable to wield the regular Green Lantern ring.
Well, Hal's got an army of them.
Hal's got an army of them. And Superman quickly deals with it.
And Lex, of course, Lex always has a plan, because I knew when Brainiac got a hold of Lex and it looked like,
yep,
I knew there was something going on. But
immediately.
But I flashed back to whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow with the Lex with the Brainiac helmet. Yeah.
But literally, like, and before it even happens, Brainiac was sucking him in because he's like, he could have convinced you to commit suicide within 14 minutes.
Yeah.
And how does he do it? Because earlier, we glossed over this, Brainiac shrunk all of Stalingrad.
Stalingrad, yes.
He shrunk it down into like a capsule, and Superman was unable for his entire life to figure out how to get them out. So, what is the one thing that fucking Lex can do to make it seem like he's the bad guy? With one sentence, why don't you just put the whole world in a bottle, Superman? We've never seen a man look so defeated in this comic specifically.
Broken. With
literally
one sentence.
Immediately broken. He then immediately takes it on Brainiac and tells him to stop. Brainiac's like,
nah.
Rammed. So, no? I'm gonna kill everything, because thanks, you basically handed me the world.
But don't count Lex Luthor out.
Nope. He's in there slicing the shit out of Brainiac's, like, main brain.
So here's where the book, the climax of this book, it's like I didn't have high expectations. I was like, okay, this is going to be over, and then like it goes to a whole nother level.
Lex lives for a long time,
Superman,
like 400 years.
Superman dies. We're air quoting.
We're all doing air quotes.
We've got to start recording this. Superman dies. Lex, of course, becomes, is he president
of it's the global United States.
Yeah. So basically Lex undoes everything that Superman did, and he helps to fix humanity.
He literally solves cancer, AIDS, diabetes, blindness, every inherited form of illness, expands the life of a human to 400 years, and makes it so they don't have to sleep.
And then he dies in the 4th millennium with a smile on his face, knowing that he defeated Superman. So that's a good ending. But wait, there's more.
Because, big shocker, Superman's not dead.
Superman's not dead. Lois kind of thinks she figures it out. And then it starts to talk about the legacy.
The legacy of Lex Luthor.
The generations. Let's name some of the names here.
You want to start from the top and just list them?
Yeah, let's go.
So we got Lena Luthor, the artist. Lombard Luthor, the Imagineer. Lori Luth 145, the math magician. Jordan Luth 1938, pioneering necronaut and first man to set foot in the afterlife. Alex L, Jordan L, Lana L.
There's a pattern here, people.
And of course, his grandchild to the 50th power, Jor-El, whose IQ exceeded Lex Luthor's. And suddenly, the sun is about to blow up. It's concerning.
And Jor-El is going to put his child into a rocket ship to at least save him as the planet explodes.
And can you guess what that child's name is?
If you're guessing Kal-El, because the last page is Superman's rocket crashing into Russia in 1938.
That's right. We're not leaving planets. We're leaving timelines. It's a never-ending loop, folks.
Boom!
It's all fucked. It's a never-ending series of fuck.
Mind blown. I remember like seeing this last page and I'm like, oh, no way.
Yeah, I was like, wait, are we doing time travel this time? And then I realized, like, oh, it's not just time travel. It's the same loop for eternity. It will always end this way and begin the same way. And that made me a little sad.
I didn't think too deep about it. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Obviously, thumbs up.
Oh yeah, this is a great read. This is a really good read. Like I say this a lot, I feel like, but I don't know why I waited so long to read this. I'd been recommended this by a lot of people, actually. I was just like, yeah, I'll get around to it. And then I brought it up when we started recording the podcast. And then my friend got it for me. I was like, I have to now. It's not going to be something that's going to sit on my shelf. I've got to just sit down and read this. I'm so glad I did.
This is written by Mark Millar, pencils by Dave Johnson and Killian Plunkett. It's an Elseworlds book. We forgot to mention that, but obviously, it kind of goes with it.
It's pretty obvious that it's not canon.
Oh, but Devin, now everything is.
Oh yeah, right.
Because it's not a multiverse, it's an omniverse. And there's not one planet that the omniverse derives from. It's two. And the other is the Elseworlds.
The fucking crazy one.
So everything matters. Everything has happened. So that was Superman Red Sun from 2003. Go ahead and check that out at your local comic book shop.
It was so good.
If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Please give us a shout out on social media. We'll put the social media tags at the end of the episode. If you would like one of us or both of us to appear on your podcast, punchthetimeline@gmail.com.
He is the more knowledgeable one. I'm the one that's there for a quick joke.
Yeah, if you need someone to drop F-bombs, just hit us up. I've been listening to some other podcasts, like The Rambling Geek. Big shout out to those guys.
Yeah, man.
They're so chill, and their flow is so natural, and they're from New Zealand, so they've got cool accents. And then you compare it to us, and we're like, fuck, Batman.
Look, man, we're a little disjointed right now. We'll get there. It'll flow more regularly. Look, I'm listening to a lot of D&D podcasts right now just because I'm in a D&D mood, and it makes me want to be a little bit more ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't think I could get that NPR. I'm not saying those guys are NPR, but I'm too animated and passionate and opinionated. Because if you haven't heard my Three Jokers rant, go ahead and Three Jokers #3. Check that out and wait for me to explode.
Did we turn that into a mini thing for the channel? Because I feel like we may as well.
I'm gonna make some clips. I've been posting our stuff on different websites, and that's one of the clips that I'm gonna make. I think that our scumbag Alfred moment is a good clip, and then my rant, my anti Jeff Johns rant.
Yep,
is just. It's like if someone was like, "What do you sound like on your podcast?" That's what I would play.
Oh, also, I do want to point it out, just because I always like pointing these things out when I can find them. I found a spelling error.
Oh, where?
It was in the 3rd issue.
Okay, this will be a clip.
It is how many pages into the 3rd issue? So you have the page with Superman looking over the Earth on the satellite. Turn. It should be like page 4, I guess technically is what that would be for you. He should be, the first panel should be talking about America being a war zone. And then the spelling error is actually on the third panel on the top. And he says, of that much I was certain. But where he says certain, there are 2 A's.
You are correct, sir.
In big, bold letters, there are 2 A's in that certain. And for that is the panel that didn't do it for me.
There you go. Let me get to the credits here so I can find the editor so we can shame the editor.
Is that it? Mike McAvini and Tom Palmer Jr. editors.
And Ken Lopez, busted.
Busted. I'll always find your fucking spelling errors. I'm coming for you.
What better way to close this episode than with a spelling error caught by the good doctor?
I'm still so mad.
Mr. DR.
I'm still so mad that you managed to make that shit work.
You know, I have a lot of time on my hands at work, and my brain just goes places.
Trust me, I know. I've been there.
If you hadn't reminded me of Digital Robin, then I probably wouldn't have thought of that for probably another year.
It's fine. It would have come up eventually in some random conversation, I'm sure.
Most likely. So next episode is about Future State. And if you enjoy my rants, get ready. I have opinions about Future State. We're just going to kind of cover all the books.
I've only read one of them so far, and it's Nightwing, because it's me. And the second I saw Nightwing, I had to buy it.
Titans was better.
I told you, dude. I tried to get Titans. And they didn't have it when I went.
Anyway, if you're still here, thanks for listening.
The rant.
We'll be back for more F-bombs and Batman and Jeff Johns and Nightwing and all the other shit we talk about. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. This has been Punch the Timeline Subdivisions.
Peace out.
Social media.
You can follow me on Twitter at Grumpy Old Jarrod. You can find the podcast on Twitter at Timeline Punch, and you can follow the podcast on Instagram at Punch the Timeline.
You can find my social media on Twitter and Instagram at Good Guesswork, and you can follow me over on twitch.tv as Good Guesswork. I stream over there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Feel free to drop by and say hi.
Social media.
Thanks for listening to Punch the Timeline.
We're recording. It's also that time of year where I'm about to lose my voice.
Oh, perfect.
So that's gonna be awesome.
So it sounds like we need to slam some fucking recordings in before your voice just fucks off.
I think it'll be funny if I can do it, because there's like a point where it's like super deep, and then it's just like by the end of the day I sound like Screech.
In a world.
I'm dying, Mr. Belding. That's not how we do it in Texas. A Not in Texas production.